I couldn't prove a negative, and just as there are suspicions now, and I understand that, and those are understandable. I thought they would be understandable, especially if they were fueled by an opponent in the context of a political campaign. So, again, I don't think that's a good excuse. That is what was going through my head. And again, I made a mistake. I should have been truthful from the beginning.
What did he need mentoring in, Beau Breedlove?
When I met him at the state legislature, he worked for a Republican. He expressed interest in getting involved in public service or politics in the Portland area, moving up from Salem. And he asked to get together to sort of pick my brain on those issues.
How did you substantiate his age?
During lunch, he told me.
Did you have sex on his 18th birthday?
No.
How long afterward?
It would have been about a month, 3 weeks to a month.
What's morally the difference between 17 and 18?
What's that?
Legally, there's a difference between 17 and 18, but in your mind, morally, what's the difference?
Well, I don't think it's just that there's a moral difference. I think the specifics of this situation, I think there's a moral difference in the specific ingredients of this situation. Looking back, a commissioner, someone 20-some years older, and although it was consensual and interest on both sides, I should have been the wiser, older adult.
But you didn't seem to think that in the fall of 2007, if your concern was an allegation of sex with a minor versus an allegation of sex with an 18-year-old.
My concern was that the issue of, I think that my concern that just the issue of a sexual relation with someone that age, but my major concern, I think, at the time was under 17, under 18 illegal. That was my greater concern.
So, would you say that you refrained from sex with Beau Breedlove because of legal reasons, or because you saw something morally wrong with having sex with someone under the age of 18?
It was, well, the relationship sort of developed. It wasn't, I didn't go to lunch with him with the conclusion that I wanted a romantic relationship with him. And especially when he told me during lunch, he didn't look 17. He was dressed like everyone else was dressed in the Capitol, so he didn't look much different than any of the other older professionals. But I didn't, attractive guy, but didn't have an automatic interest in a romantic relationship. When he told me he was 17, less interested. But as the relationship unfolded, but again, I was dating other people. It became romantic. I was dating other people as well at the time. So.
How long did it last?
It lasted maybe 2 months. We went on maybe 3 or 4 dates.
Who broke it off?
It just, what, I can tell you that I, although found, Beau is a great guy, very smart, very engaging, really decent fellow. The experience of dating someone that much younger, I didn't find it compelling. So I would guess that he might have felt the same way, so I would say that it was mutual.
Sam, is it okay for a police officer off-duty who's investigating the lie about off-duty behavior? Come to him about his meaning.
I would have to look at the circumstances of the situation.
Usually that's a termination. Do you realize that?
I'd have to look at the situation individually. I'm not sure that absolutely over the years that every single incident of lying every time has been subject to termination. But I also I can't recall the details either.
Did Beau Breedlove ever consume alcohol while you were dating him?
He wasn't, he didn't, and that was not a problem. Any other questions?
You two stayed in touch. Beyond asking Bo to lie for you, did you use your influence in any way to help with your jobs? Did you do anything else, at least in part in the hopes to keep the secret between the two of you?
No. He asked me to serve as a reference for the Wyatt, which I agreed to do, and served as a personal reference for that. But I don't think I was the only reference that he supplied them. He didn't ask for jobs or ask for anything in particular. We were friends. We are friends.
When did you first become aware of any investigation into your relationship with Bo by either the Willamette Week or Portland Mercury?
The Willamette Week sat down with me most recently Thursday night, but initially back in September, October
September 17th.
of '07.
Yeah.
Of '07. And I was aware prior to that, what I'd heard was not Willamette Week and the allegations of sex with a minor, but I'd been hearing reports about my would-be mayoral opponent talking to other folks who then relate bits and pieces of it to me.
When did you become aware of any activities by the Portland Mercury regarding your relationship with Bo Breedlove and your subsequent lying and asking Bo to lie on your behalf?
Well, once the story came out, it came out in all news outlets. So I was
You
feeling.
had no previous knowledge through any reason or the people of any activity by the Portland Mercury to investigate you or your relationship with Bo Breedlove?
My first contact from the media on this issue was Nigel Jaquish at Willamette Week.
You and Amy never discussed this issue.
Prior-
Can you say that you and Amy never discussed this issue prior to it becoming public knowledge last night?
Oh, no. Amy, at about 5 o'clock when I returned to the office last Thursday, that's the first time that I knew that Willamette Week had wanted to talk to me, and that was the first time I knew that Willamette Week, I believe, had talked to Amy about her hiring. That was Thursday around 5 o'clock, and then I met with Willamette Week that Thursday night, and about 4 a.m. Made the trip to the airport to go to Washington, D.C.
Do you know about Bo apology?
No, I don't think so.
Why did you travel to Washington, D.C. if you knew this was coming down?
And the reason I would say no is that, you know, his interests were to use, you know, the allegation of sex with a minor to bump me out of the race. And it was not true then, and it's not true now. And he went about it in a way that, you know, showed more concern for his political fortunes than for Bo. So I don't think that it. I don't think I owe an apology based on the facts of the matter.
You became aware of this on Thursday afternoon. You decided you proceeded to go to Washington, D.C. Was that a trip paid for by the city of Portland?
Yes, it was a trip by the U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Why did you decide to go to Washington, D.C. at that time, knowing that the issue was brewing, and why did you then change your mind and decide to come home?
Well, because the U.S. Conference of Mayors was lobbying the incoming Obama administration on infrastructure and on the federal infrastructure elements of the federal stimulus package. And the city of Portland has not had much profile with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, with the Democratic administration, given that most mayors are Democratic. And it's the first mayor's meeting prior to the administration. I saw it as an invaluable opportunity to make sure that Portland's voice is heard with Chief of Staff, Rahm Emanuel, and to learn sort of their thinking with